Hello, welcome to Random Record Roulette, where I use the Discogs app on my phone and shake it around and get a random record, then pick it out from my collection and try to justify why I own it. Let's give it a go. What is this? Focus. Focus! Finally. Okay. So we got Transpact, which is, well, appropriate band shirt today. Now, Edniga never released on Transpact, but so Transpact was a label run by Gilbert Teneve, mostly known as Asia 2001, but actually almost every artist on the label, except for like 3, are all him. I'm gonna go pick it out and talk a little bit more about this, and we'll give it a spin. So this would be the Goa Trans section of the collection. Transpact is going to be down at T. And here it is. So yeah, here it is. So, if you can see. And just number 81. So Transpact started with number 100 and then counted down. They only got to, was it 66 or 67 before they stopped releasing vinyl singles. There were some more CDs released after that. There was also some sub-labels, Das House and Subliminal. Also mostly Gilbert. He's unfortunately dead. He died a few years ago. This too, Koma Klub, that is also him. 3 tracks. And so what I have everything, every single 12-inch on Transpact. And what I really like about this label and its sub-labels is that it's very raw. It feels like someone is just channeling something through the equipment in the studio and just making it in the spur of the moment. It isn't meticulously dialed in and fine-tuned over a long period of time or, you know, very high-end production. It is usually very rough in terms of production. This is more difficult with electronic music sometimes because it doesn't have the direct, you're not playing the instrument directly in the same sense. But I think with this stuff and a lot of other things I like that is electronic music, you can sort of still hear the artist or artists feeling something, channeling something. Like you can feel what they felt in a sense. And it's not so polished that there's no soul left. This is very much unpolished. This is sort of at one extreme end of that spectrum. I did record a long DJ set once with all Transpact and sublabel tracks. I think there were a couple of really shitty transitions on there where the keys didn't match, so it was dissonant. So I sort of scrapped it, never really listened to that set. But I should redo it because I really like this stuff. But as with any label, as with anyone's artistic output, there's some dodgy stuff in there. So I kind of need to pick the right ones and play them in the right context for them to make sense because it's sort of all over the map. I should remake this mix and sort of curate the best of Transpact and its sublabels. I'm going to listen to this one now. I don't recall quite how this sounds, so this will be interesting. I'm going to recognize it immediately, but I don't off the top of my head now know exactly what these tracks are like because he had so much output. Let's give it a go. So I generally do like the sound of Transpact as a record label, Transpact Productions. This might not be like the best thing on the label. Hand claps are unusual nowadays as a snare, so that dates it a little bit. But the fact that it's dated isn't really my problem with this, or like it doesn't bother me, I should say. It is of its era, it is of its time, but what I like is that just these unprocessed synthesizers, like when the filter cuts down and it starts to get really boomy in the bass, no one's EQ'd that out or compressed it away or filtered it further. It's just allowed to be alive, and it's allowed to go wherever it goes depending on what you do with the synthesizer. And today everything is so clinically polished and every sound stays in its lane in a way that just kills it, I think. So I appreciate that this is, again, raw and sort of heartfelt. And it's got these really nice atmospheres, that track. But like Cheap Trick has these very sort of beautiful atmospheres over these sort of electric tearing synth lines. I would say bass lines if they had more bass, but like everything is kind of mid here. There's no deep kick. That also dates it a lot. The kick is really sort of mid heavy, which works well on a big system that is underpowered, like a big cheap PA system, or like you're playing out and you can't do infra bass because you're gonna get clipping and shit. But if you keep it in the mid, you're still gonna feel it and you're not gonna wreck the equipment. So that's a lot of stuff from this era is like that. Incidentally, a lot of French stuff from this era is like that. This is French. But like the atmospheres really combined with the other sounds are really lovely. And he generally, from like 93 to 96, had these very beautiful atmospheres in a lot of his output. I don't know what synths he used, but I really like the sound of them. They sound really organic and sort of like some undiscovered flute sometimes, and I just think they have a really nice texture to them. There is, if you don't want to chase down a bunch of Transpact releases and its sublabels, like some of the stuff on DOS House, one of the sublabels, is extremely expensive. I don't know if this is going to be easier, but there is a CD, this one. Now here the artist name is not Koma Klub or Asia 2001, which he was more known for. Here it's Laurent X. So this is a compilation of tracks that came out in '94 and has a lot of DOS House and some Transpact stuff on it. A lot of the more mellow stuff he did. If you, in the bargain bin, and you find something that looks like this, like, oh, all right, there's a Transpact, and you can just count the numbers, see if you can catch them all. If they're like €1 or whatever, pick it up. Like, there's good stuff on them. I think they're pretty sweet. So I like the label. I like the raw, unpolished sound. I like that it is, you know, faulty and blemished and imperfect. That makes it more alive and more human to me. And in the right context, I really connect with this stuff. So that's all for today. See you in the next one.